sure this is here. Should be refreshing any minute now. There we go. All right. Hello, and thank you for coming to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. Today we have an awesome guest, Eric Weathers. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Eric Weathers is creator of Battle Brick Road. This freakingly awesome book here. Let me see here. I wanted to also I was trying to throw this all together really quick, and then I got sidetracked. And
That's right.
So I wanted to throw up a banner here. All right, this should fit.
All right.
There's a character limitation of 200 characters in a ticker tape scrolling banner.
Oh, in the bottom of StreamYards?
Yeah, exactly. What the? Do I have a separate window? That's weird. Oh, okay. Whoa. All right. Well, anyway, I'll get to that in a sec. Thank you all for joining. And let's see here. Oh, how weird. I don't know whether YouTube's messing with the numbers or what, but there were people waiting in the room. Anyway, so we've got Battle Brick Road, and what the? Oh, all right, I see. It's doing really well so far. Did you anticipate it would do as well as it has been?
No. I mean, kinda. I had a feeling it might do better than Flying Fortress did the first time because a lot of people were anticipating it for so long because I had promoted. I had talked about this Oz book that I was doing even before I launched Flying Fortress. So there was a lot of interest over these past 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, and people that were like backing Flying Fortress, like, man, this looks cool, but I can't wait for your Oz book. I can't wait for your Oz book. So yeah, I mean, you never know how campaigns go, and when I launched it, I was nervous, and I launched it in the middle of worldwide pandemic, and you just never know. But I had faith in the book and faith in the pitch and the story that Zeb and I are putting together. So I wasn't expecting to be where we are now, which is just really, really, really good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Excuse me. I was looking at the numbers here, and let me make sure I'm on the most recent version. So you got 44,430 USD, and that comes out to be 4,443%.
We need 1 more percent, and it could be 4,444.
Oh my gosh! Out of $1,000 fixed goal, was 1,000 really all that you figured you needed to be able to fund the campaign, or was that to work with the Indiegogo algorithm to get it additional promotion?
I'd say it's a bit of both. If let's just go down the hypothetical route of, I only was able to raise 1,000. That would have been maybe 100 books that would have sold. So there, even less than that. So I knew that I could pay my colorist out of pocket just for my lettering jobs over the course of a few months, So cost wise and shipping, I figured if it was just like 100 people that got the book, I was going to be able to pay for that out of pocket. But I set the goal intentionally low because it does play in the algorithm for Indiegogo, and you want to set yourself up for success. And having already fulfilled a successful campaign with Flying Fortress, I felt like it was a good idea to go ahead and test that algorithm out and make it work in our favor. Because if anybody that may not know, Indiegogo will put you in a trending area on their website, on their comics subcategory. And the better your campaign is doing, the longer it stays trending. So, if you come out of the gate, and I had a $1,000 goal, and we made almost 17 in the first 24 hours. So, it was over 1,000% funded right out of it. It just makes it works the rhythms and algorithms of Indiegogo, which is just it's a marketing thing. Not everybody can do that, but I felt confident that we were going to be able to.
Yeah, even though you were promoting this even before Flying Fortress came out, do you also like share sketches and artwork from it?
There were a few things. Yeah, I had started working on it a couple of times in the past, but Zeb and I would always get together. Zeb's the writer. We actually live in the same town, so we'll meet over a beer every once in a while and just have like a hash out meeting. What are we thinking story-wise? What are we thinking campaign-wise? And all of this stuff. And I would get started. Maybe I'd have the full issue thumbnail roughed in, and then we'd have a meeting, and a lot of stuff would change, and I'd get a new script. And so it was a lot of start and stop. And I had actually started working on this final script, and I was drawing the first couple of pages, and which will be, you're going to see those in the campaign if you back the supplemental version of it. I had done the first few pages, but then I was looking at sort of how we were telling the story, and I scrapped them and started over once again, just because it was I was moving the story forward the right way. So along those 2 years, I was showing some sketches and some stuff, but there were so many starts and stops in between that there wasn't a whole lot of finished stuff to show off until we were running the main, the main campaign.
Was it your intent originally to release Battle Brick Road first and then Flying Fortress second?
No, I was actually geared up. I'm glad it turned out the way it did, but I was geared up to do Battle Brick Road first. Back then, it wasn't even called Battle Brick Road; it was called Operation Zephyr, which was a play on the Oz name. It was never. I didn't love it, but it was like it kind of works. It's military. Zephyr means west wind. Wicked Witch of the West, wind, tornado. It all sort of fit, but it also needed to be explained.
Yeah,
and, you don't want to have to explain your title. You just want it to click. Battle Brick Road makes more sense. It has that connotation to Yellow Brick Road right off the bat.
Yeah.
But
you do have Operation Zephyr at the bottom of it.
Yeah, that became the subtitle for sure. But, I was originally planning to just go straight into Oz. But I was talking with some friends, and they were like, you've got this book, Flying Fortress. It's already done. It's just, you got money sitting there. You have a new audience, people that might like the book, and you could build a new audience off of that as well. And I thought about it for about 5 seconds, and I said, you know what, that's a good idea. So I put together a small idea on how I would relaunch Flying Fortress, because I had finished working on it in 2016. 2017, we did our last convention, I believe, for it when we were working on it. And I just thought, if I were to fix a couple of things with the artwork. There were a couple of panels that just didn't read right, and then I could update the lettering because it was a mess over, you know, lettering a book over 7 years, like almost a book or an issue a year. It's vastly different from page 1 to page 200. So yeah, I just switched gears thinking, you know, I can build an audience. Hopefully, you know, it's not going to take a lot of work for me to get Flying Fortress out the door because I don't have to draw anything new. It's all already done. So it seemed like a good idea. So I went for it, and it turned out great there too.
Right on. Yeah, I actually did get a chance to back Flying Fortress, but when you came out with the campaign, I think it was called Battle Damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you described the books as, you know, having little nicks here and there, but mine were, in my opinion, almost perfect condition.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. I had ordered 1,000 books,
Uh-huh.
and I had shipped out a little somewhere around 600 that went to backers. And as you're packing books, you can see the ones that have issues, and I would just set those aside. And some of them were very minor. Some of them might have just looked like shelfware, but they come fresh from the printer. Some of them do have like smashed corners and stuff from shipping boxes that got knocked over or whatever. But I would just set them to the side and figure, I don't know what to do with these. And then after the campaign was fulfilled, I thought, well, they're just sitting here. It's just money just sitting there, you know. So I fired up a second chance campaign, and it worked out well. We've almost raised another 10 grand through selling these books. So
Nice.
yeah.
Have you basically finished selling the rest of the copies you had, or did you
No, there are like 60 some left.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've got you know, a handful of extras just in case, but yeah, there's like 63 books left on that campaign, and once that's done, I'm going to be done with Flying Fortress. That as far as that book goes, yeah.
When you do a second chance campaign, and you know the customers are already knowing up front that it's going to have imperfections,
Mm-hmm.
is there any point in that campaign in which someone might report, "Oh, this arrived damaged"?
Well, I haven't had any of those. So, in fact, it's been the opposite. People saying it's not damaged enough. You oversold how much damage there was.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was about to gripe about that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if there was a package that came and it was like cut in half, I would send a new one, you know. I mean, that wouldn't be that would be a good thing to do as a businessman, to not, you know, be like, oh yeah, well, I said it was damaged, so, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely want to, but there weren't any complaints, and
Nice.
and maybe some people thought, well, I bought a damaged copy, so if it was the USPS that damaged it, what can I do? I don't know, maybe. Nobody's reached out though.
Yeah, mine came out looking great.
That's good to hear.
I like a lot. The did you do like some creators and decide to set aside a certain number of copies for your family and generations to come?
I just keep a couple of ones just for my own personal library. Flying, and that may be different with Battlebrick Road because it's very new. But with Flying Fortress, I have been working on it for so long. I have the old floppy versions of it. I have the Volume 1 and Volume 2 classic editions of it that were, you know, it was a web comic for a while. It was all over the place. And so I have a couple of the new remasters, and that's enough for me. The way, you know, kind of the way it works now is everything's print on demand anyway. So if I needed new copies, which I don't, but if I did, I could just
reprint them.
Yeah, just reprint them. You know, it's a low cost to me. So
yeah, as long as you have a digital master, then
yeah. And you know, the idea behind it was I overprinted because I thought, well, if I do any conventions, I'm just going to have stock ready to go.
Sure. Yeah.
But I didn't. But then again, I was like, well, I don't want to sell these damaged ones at cons, so let me just try this other route, and it's worked out pretty well. So
yeah. And then have you thought about attending the proposed For the Fans Fest? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. The goal right now, and we're still on schedule, is to have Battle Brick Road done. Art should be my part. My drawing should be done. Oh, October, November, before the end of the year. My drawing should be done, and then I'll be feeding those pages to Farah, who's coloring it over the course of these next few months, and then ideally we will be shipping in March, and everything will be out the door by the end of March or April or whenever, however long it takes. I mean, we've already got more books shipping out than we did with the first campaign. So that only took about 2 weeks to do Flying Fortress. And there was a lot more involved in that because I was folding a lot of posters and all of that stuff. So I've learned a lot of lessons from that first campaign. But yeah, we are planning on being at For the Fans Fest.
Yeah.
Which obviously we need to learn more about it, when it is going to be exactly and all that. But that's the goal.
Do you anticipate having available in stock for sale both Battle Brick Road and Flying Fortress?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that I will have exclusives for that con.
Sweet.
So an exclusive cover of Flying Fortress, maybe just a virgin cover or like a line art variant or something, but something exclusive that was only available there. Same with Battle Brick Road. I just think I think it's a good idea to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. For those viewers who aren't familiar, there is in the works convention, a big comic convention that is presently scheduled for May of 2021, assuming this whole COVID thing is over by then.
Yeah.
And they can have conventions again in Orlando, Florida. And it's going to be a huge gathering of ComicsGaters, Weebors, and the Phantom Menace.
Yep.
So it's going to be huge. It's going to be so much fun. I'm in the process of trying to save money for it in between backing all these awesome campaigns like yours. So do you want to do in a nutshell, what is Battle Brick Road about?
Sure. Yeah, Battle Brick Road is Zeb and I's in war-torn reimagining of the Wizard of Oz. I came to him with this initial idea of like, what if we did this sort of military Wizard of Oz thing? And he made this amazing script out of it, built this whole world, this whole elaborate thing where we have this sort of dark sci-fi futuristic Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy has grown up in this Dust Bowl lifestyle. She's been trying to find her dad for her whole life. And she gets this message from her dad like 20 years after he went missing. It says, Dorothy, this utopia that you heard about is real, and I'm here. And when you hear the coordinates on how to get here, and if you want to find me when you get here, follow the Yellow Brick Road. And we kick off this journey. You know, she takes her deadly her deadly companion Toto, who likes to murder faces, and she meets a sniper scarecrow in this book. And then in the future installments, you know, book 2, 3, and 4, we're going to meet the rest of the cast and journey down that Battle Brick Road a whole lot more. But we've got just this great story of Dorothy, you know, trying to find her place, finding her family, maybe finding family in places that she didn't realize she needed or wanted it. And, you know, lots of guns and lots of blood and explosions too. So a bit different than your grandmother's Wizard of Oz.
Sounds kick-ass. I'm looking forward to it. Leroy says, when is the Savage Wilds campaign kicking off, and how does he find the time to do all of this lettering plus his own campaigns?
I don't know how I find the time, but I do. Battle Brick Road, like I said, the artwork should be done in October, November timeframe. And after those pencils are done, excuse me, after those pencils are done, I'm not doing any inking. So it's going straight from pencils to coloring. And while Farah's coloring that, I will be able to shift focus art-wise to the Savage Wilds campaign, which is a book that's being written by Aldous and Sierra Whiskey. And they hired me on a while ago, but they were like, do Oz first, get Battle Brick Road done. And then when you're done with that, we'll move on to our stuff. And it's sort of this neat, like Lord of the Rings meets Secret of the Nim.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing a completely different art style on that. There is a painterly style that I do that they really, really like. So we're going to be doing that with that book. So it's going to be like finish penciling and then like figure out how to paint again. And then we'll start working on that. So
that sounds like a wicked cool project too.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. A real, a good children's book, kid friendly, all ages kind of thing, but with it still has the danger and the excitement that like a Lord of the Rings story would. And
Wow.
I'm actually really looking forward to it. They've got a real cool take on this.
Nice. That sounds really good. Can't wait. Hope there will be a karaoke bar. I'm guessing there will be, but I'm not sure. I've heard talk about there being a stage where, prominent members will, do their show during the convention.
Yeah.
And everyone will have time slots. So that would be pretty trippy. I didn't realize you could hear it in the background. I do have a set of wind chimes outside on my apartment patio. Balcony. Yeah. I love this artwork. So you did the sketches, the inks, and you have a colorist to do the rest?
Yeah, I'm doing just pencils. There's no inking on this particular project, but Farah Nurmaliza is coloring the book. And right now she's coloring the first handful of pages. I've sent those off to her. I should hear something by this weekend, I think. I should have something by like Monday or so of a page or two that are going to be ready to show, which I'm really looking forward to, because we've got 6 days left, and that's the full 60 days of the campaign. We're in the final stretch, and we've got a lot of great stuff still coming, but I'm waiting for things to be done before I announce them. It's taken a little longer than I've expected, but there are going to be some cool things that we're going to be adding to the campaign in the next, hopefully just month or two. So, that said, yes, we are going to go in demand, but let's try and get to that 50K stretch goal before we close, so we can get that Ashcan add-on from 6 a.m. Comics. That's the next step for the campaign.
For sure. 6 days left. And did you say you're on the second 30-day funding?
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be the end of it in terms of the main campaign thing. So.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, we are going to go in demand. It's going to be in demand for a while because I'm still drawing it. Been busting my butt trying to get these pages done in a timely manner, but in a quality manner. So yeah.
This is like one of my favorite images. It's just so cool. It's a great action pose.
Thank you.
Who came up with the logo or the name? The way that it's designed, the artwork behind.
Yeah, that logo was created by James Dean Anderson of ComicsGate design fame. He's done work for Art T. Bear and done work for Ethan. We've actually worked together in the past. We also live in the same town, so we did some design stuff and some video work back in a few years ago. He sort of struck out on his own as a freelancer after like years of just being a designer in a design firm, and was like, I think I could just do this on my own. And he had enough clients that came with him, and he's been able to kick ass. And now he's doing like comic book stuff, and we're both big comic book nerds. And he's like, man, can you believe we're like working with Art T. Bear and Ethan? I'm like, I know, dude, it's so cool.
I know. That's so awesome. I love the logo. It's perfect. You've got a yellow brick in the middle, and it's got the distressed look on the lettering.
Yeah,
it just works. It's well done.
Yeah, he did a really great job. And James is a great guy.
How did you connect with this colorist? She does an awesome job too.
Yeah, so I was shopping around for colors for a while, and I was talking with Scott McCullough of Door Kickers and Peregrine, and because I lettered Door Kickers, and he was like, you know what, you should look at Farrah's work. She's really good. She's got reasonable rates, and so I was like, do you have? I've seen her stuff on Door Kickers, but I just wanted to see more work, and he sent me her Instagram, which had more pages, and I emailed her and I said, hey, I'd like for you to work on this project. Would you be willing to do a test page? And I'll pay you for the work. And that the page you see right under the cover there on the campaign was her test page, and it was everything I needed.
Oh my gosh!
So
seriously, that was her test page. Shit.
Yeah.
This is another one I really like.
And she's working on the rest.
You picked a great colorist. It's freaking awesome work.
Yeah, I had this vision of how I wanted it to look. Very dusty, very textury, very muted colors, especially in the opening chapter 1, because we're in that old world. So instead of having like black and white to color, we're going from deserty sand, destitute Mad Max world to bright, colorful utopia that may just not be as squeaky clean as one might expect. But there's a shift in tone. There's a shift in color palette as well when we make that transition. So,
out of curiosity, with this type of story, are there any challenges in making sure you don't step on like some copyright owner toes? I mean, is there anything that they could legitimately gripe about?
I don't think there's anything that they could gripe about with Battle Brick Road, because we've shied away from, very intentionally, like, I want to tell this Oz story in this way because I think it's a whole lot of fun.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But we're also intentionally not making it a Wizard of Oz book that you can just look at and say, oh, that's just a thing off Wizard of Oz. Like, you look at the cover and you see a girl falling through the sky being chased by flying gorillas and chimpanzees. Like, maybe you might make a connection there, but she's not in a dress. She's firing a pistol in the sky at these guys. So there's sort of this, I wonder what Battle Brick Road, that kind of sounds like Yellow Brick Road. There might be some connection there. And then in the story, even in the design, like, originally I was like, well, do I put Oz, an O and a Z in the title right next to each other? Because a lot of times you'll see, Dorothy of Oz and the blah-blah-blah of Oz. And a lot of these things are like anchoring themselves to the Oz thing. And we're sort of just maybe touching it, and we're not anchored to it. We're like, it's here. We're in this kind of world, but we're really taking our own spin on it, and we're rearranging things, and there are things like in the story that we're not even gonna. There are things in the main book and the movie that we're not even going to address. Like, there's no Ruby Red Slippers sort of allegory in our book. Gotcha. It's not that these characters are looking for courage and brains and heart. It's deeper than that, and Zev has just done this great way of weaving a story that is reminiscent or inspired by Wizard of Oz with just our own take on things, new characters and new paths to go down. And it's a whole lot different. There are some mainstays, we've got flying monkeys, we have our own versions of the witches, but they're not, crazy yellow or green people that fly around on broomsticks. They're AIs, robotic AI constructs that each sort of govern a sector of Oz and things like that. There's going to be a poppy field scene, but poppy fields are a little bit different in our world than they are in Oz. But no trees throwing apples at anybody.
So when you get the script, are you actively involved in helping build the script, and then the other guy actually does a formal laying it down on paper and then hands you the finished script, and then you take it and run with it? And
I would say
lay out all the art the way you envisioned it?
Yeah, I would say script-wise, it's probably more of an 80-20, 80 being Zeb and 20 being me, where he will, like, I pitched him the idea. I came to him. This was my idea to begin with. And I said, hey, Zeb, you're a writer. I came to him with two ideas. I said, let's do something together. We have a convention coming up in, I think, a year or 6 months or whatever it was. I said, we have a convention coming up. Let's throw something together. Because all I have is Flying Fortress. I want something new. I said, here's two ideas. And one of them was Oz, and that's the one he picked. And so we threw together a little ash can, which is going to be part of the supplemental of the book when you back the campaign. If you back the supplemental book as well, you're going to see this ash can. And in fact, it's updated. In the most recent update, you can download a preview of it, uncolored. We're going to get it fully colored for the campaign.
Nice.
But I said, here's the thing, here's the story, here's what I was thinking, and he just took it and ran with it. And so then we would meet, and we'd go to the local bar and pizza joint, and we'd sit over and we'd eat pretzel sticks and pizza and beer and just talk about like how we want the story to go. I'd say, I don't really like this. Why did you do this? And he'd say, well, he'd explain it himself. And there was just a lot of back and forth, but he would always go back and adjust or rewrite or whatever and come back to me, a couple weeks later with a different update. And again, script wise, it was mostly him, and I was there just making suggestions or telling him what I would like to see in the story, but ultimately I was like, I trust you, you're the writer, you take it from here. And now that we have a full script that I've been working from for the past few months, now it is me, like, I forget the phrase, but I think it was like James Cameron, the director, or Michael Bay or whatever, was like, he would get a script. He said, this script is great. Now I'm going to make it even better. And that's my job now, is like, the scene you see there with them being chased. It was originally them in like the Gale vehicle was just like a Land Rover in the desert, and they were being chased by these military vehicles. And I was like, let's make it cooler. Let's like set it, because it's set in the 2060s. I was like, let's give some flying cars in there, some hovercrafts, and some like Star Wars speeder bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit more exciting to look at, more fun to draw. And there are little things like that I'll adjust. And he's like, we've talked. He's like, you're in charge. You're the director now. So if something needs to change on the page, then go for it. I trust you. And that's what he's told me. So it's been a very good partnership in making this story come to life.
Fantastic. Out of curiosity, when you draw buildings, are you doing this traditionally, like on paper, on Bristol board, or are you doing it digitally and like importing an image of a building and then tracing over it?
So I will. I do all of my layouts and type breakdowns on my iPad in Clip Studio Paint. I have an iPad Pro, so I'll do all my preliminary drawings on there, because the way that I've worked over the years is I tend to work and rework a page layout over and over again. And back in like the Flying Fortress days, I would lay out a page and think it looks great, and then I would blow it up and start working, and I would just be changing it again, and it was slowing down my process. So now I really, basically, like a competent inker could take my layouts in on digital and then just print them out and ink them in, and it would be a full-fledged book quite easily if they knew my style. So I do use like these bikes and this car. I built these models, not completely. I did what's known as kit bash, which is you just take different models, different pieces from different models, and put them together. Like that's how like the Death Star was made, and the Star Destroyers and stuff were made in Star Wars back in the day. They took a whole bunch of model kits and glued pieces onto other pieces and made their designs that way. So that's what I did with these. I had an idea, like rough sketches of what I wanted these things to look like, and I would find a model and say, okay, I like the engine on this, so I'm gonna put it here, and this weird thing has these fins, so I'm gonna take these fins and put these on the front of the car.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, and it's just a way, like I knew that this scene was going to have a lot of this car chase, this thing where it's like, I don't just want to draw the car once and then just have it all interior and all of that. So I built a model so I could direct the action a little bit better, because I'll put them in like SketchUp, and this is what I did on Flying Fortress 2. I would direct the scene as if it were moving. So panel 1, I was like, okay, well, I know the car's here, but on the next page, I need these bikes to have moved onto the side, so I'll move them in the program and just sort of pre-visualize what it looks like and um, build it that way, and then I'll print that out, and everything is traditional on top of that. So all of these pages are being penciled with a regular 2mm 2H lead holder.
Do you have to use pen? Oh well, actually, okay, all right, gotcha. Well, that's pretty sweet. Everything's nice and straight.
Yeah,
I mean,
rulers and circle guides and stuff.
oh man, yeah. So such cool black and whites.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've been told over the years of showing my artwork that I had really tight pencils.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, I'd kind of like to just pencil a book and have that colored, and that's what we ended up doing. Aesthetically, it was a design choice from the get-go. Like years before I even started working on it, I said, I want to do this look because it's the right look for the book.
Oh man, such cool stuff here.
Thanks. And it's only going to get better once I get those colors on there.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, that reminds me. So we got a question. Here we are. Is the scarecrow statue still a possibility?
Yes, it's a possibility. I don't think it's going to be something that we can do with this campaign. It's too early, and it would cost too much. But
Okay.
I definitely want to. I would love to have statues of all 4 that you could sort of like put together in a diorama or whatever.
Oh wow, that would be cool.
Like a full team set. I think that'd be. I would love to do that.
Oh man, that would be neat.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that scarecrow statue is at the bottom of the campaign. You can see Zeb's cousin started doing it just as a fun thing to do, and
Oh yeah, for
it
sure.
got me thinking, like, how could we make this a reality?
Welcome, Statistical Zero.
Hey, man.
Hey, I'll just pop in and listen for a bit and say hi.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's always in on my live streams as well.
Totally. Let's see here. Man, I hate when Periscope blocks my messages. They keep thinking I'm trying to spam intentionally. I'm just trying to promote, man.
Yeah, just got to get the word out.
Yeah. That's such a cool design.
Thank you. He's proven to be very popular, which is it's relieving, because you want people to dig what you make. I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want people to like it. I want people to be energized by it. And that scarecrow design has been quite popular. And that there was the first piece I had drawn for the book. That became the cover of the ash can from 2018, and it just sort of set the tone for the book. And a lot of people can see it and know that it's Wizard of Oz without it. Didn't even have to say anything on the cover.
Yeah.
Clint Sweetcast had mentioned that when he first saw it. He was like, "Wait a second. You've got a girl with red hair, and then there's a Tin Man that's a robot. And there's an Emerald City." He's like, "That's Wizard of Oz, isn't it?" Yeah.
Yeah. This is exciting. Knocking out all these stretch goals.
Yeah.
Bookmarks,
It's
done.
been good.
Trading card done. Second trading card done. Battlebrook Road patch done. Oh, I love patches. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with all my patches that I collect. Whether sleeves or.
Yeah, my first campaign with Flying Fortress had a patch, and I did a little survey after that was done. After I'd fulfilled, I'd send a little survey to all the backers. One of the questions was, of all the extras, what was your favorite? And you could check whichever ones you liked the most. And the patch won out. It was the number one most favorite.
Was it?
Yeah, yeah. I
Cool.
mean, not by a huge margin, but it was, more people clicked on that than anything else. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So I had to bring the patch back for.
Yeah. Yeah. Patches are popular, interestingly enough. So we've got book quality upgrade, heavier stock cover and paper. Nice.
Mhm.
So shooting for 50K, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for the next 6 days, if we can get to 50K, we're going to get that Ash Canvas 6 a.m. comics. It's going to tell a little story about Toto that sort of takes place between. It takes place within the story of the book, so it'll tie into it.
So is 6 a.m. Comics doing the story and the art, or both?
No, he's just going to do the artwork.
Okay.
Zeb is writing the script for it. I think he has a first or second draft already ready to go in case whenever we do hit that goal, we can get Mark. We can get him to work, put him to work right away.
Yeah. And then the other two landmarks are to be announced.
Yep.
So the add-ons, Battlebrook Road, supplemental book, add-on character sketch, and fold-out poster.
Right.
So fold-out poster, does that end up being about 11 by 17?
Yeah, and that's everybody's going to get one anyways. So that's an extra. If you wanted to add it on to, you can.
Cool.
Every perk that comes with a book. So there's we have one perk that is not book related, and that is the 24 by 36 poster. But every other perk comes with a fold out poster, and all the books will come signed by Zeb and myself.
All right. Yeah, Geek Horse. Yep. YouTube's the best way to view my streams, I think.
Yeah, I see. It looks like you're streaming everywhere, huh?
I try to. I've got Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. I'm hoping to be able to expand it to more, but StreamYards only supports those four.
Ah.
You can see. And we've got breakdown of the characters. Nice. And
yep, there's the statue, the prototype.
That is nice.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. And Zeb just texted me this photo one day. Didn't say anything with it.
Do they have...
What the? This is amazing.
Do they mail you a version of it, or
no? It's his cousin that did it, and it's still a work in progress. But
okay, all right.
Yeah, so I haven't seen an update on this,
All right.
and it's been over a month, I think.
Okay.
So
that's
yeah,
so cool. So cool. I love it. All right, let's see here. Oops. Come on. Cooperate. Let's watch this trailer here.
Sure.
Being a Gale has grown up in a world brought to its knees by drought and monstrous dust storms. Now, a message from her long-lost father will set her on a path through an exotic land. Along with her trusty sidekick Toto, she must befriend a ragtag group of outcasts to endure the many challenges along the way. Battlebrick Road Operation Zephyr is a 52-page graphic novel and the first volume in a 4-part series. From artificial intelligence to genetic manipulation, Battlebrick Road brings an original and multi-layered story to the familiar backdrop of Oz. Back it today and help bring to life this apocalyptically fresh take on the classic American fairy tale. Only on Indiegogo.
Boom.
Nice and short but sweet.
Mm-hmm.
To the point. And as I tell everyone, I love it when they create a featured tier, because that's like the best bang for your buck, and it also gives you the best experience of the product they're selling.
Yeah.
So in the featured tier here, which is now discounted according to Indiegogo.
You have to do that with Indiegogo. They don't let you not discount it.
Ah,
That's sort of the way you have to build a campaign. It's weird.
Okay. So you get Battle Brick Road, you get a supplemental book, and then you get a fold-out poster. The supplemental book, is that like a short story? Is it like an ash can?
It's a bit of both. There is it's sort of a making of book, but the original Ashcan that we put together in 2018, it was a 5-page story. That's going to be in there, updated, fully colored, which you can read that now. In the latest update on the campaign, there's a link. You can download those little 5 pages there and read it. So we're going to have that in black and white and in color. We're going to have all of those things I talked about with like character designs and pages that were drawn and redrawn and things like that. All of that stuff's going to be in there as well. Just sort of behind the scenes, how the story came together, how the book came together, character designs, things like that. And then we're also going to be adding in a fan art section. We've been getting a lot of good fan art.
Oh my gosh, I love those
people. So we're looking forward to that. So the more fan art that comes in, the bigger that book becomes, which is always fun.
That's sweet. That's going to be fun because I love looking at fan art. There's
some great stuff that's come in.
It'll be included as in part of the supplemental?
That's correct, yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so the next one is a 24 by 36 movie poster size.
Yeah, that's the big boy right there.
Yeah, that is my jam. I collect movie posters and I have some on the wall, but I want to start showcasing a bunch of ComicsGate properties.
Oh, cool.
I'm really looking forward to that. Let me see. I want to check something real quick. I know I backed, let's see, Battle Brick Road. I did the Battle Brick Road plus the sketch plus the add-on supplement. So I might have to do a special backing to make sure I get that poster.
Oh yeah, those it's its own tier because it has to be shipped separately. I can't ship the book and the giant poster unless I don't want to fold it out. We're going to roll it in a tube and send it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. So you get the fold-out poster. This is the one that's like 11 by. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that'll be the 11 by 17 one.
Okay. Oh, all right. This actually comes with the book. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Yep.
And then the next one is Battle Brick Road, 2 copies. Sweet. 26 are claimed, so that's getting some good interest. 2 Battle Brick Roads, 2 fold-out posters, 2 supplemental books. Nice. We got the Battle Brick Road plus the sketch. Let's see. Carefully tap this. Oops. Battle Brick Road, the book, a character sketch, and a fold-out poster. All right. That's definitely reasonable. Is the character sketch artist choice, or do you actually ask during the checkout what character they want?
It'll be artist choice. The add-on to add a sketch is $100 by itself. So if you were to get say you got that one and then you added on a second sketch, you could choose what that second sketch would be.
Aha, nice. And if you choose what you want that sketch to be, is it a freeform text field or do you have several selections? Like, can you choose like a chimpanzee, a flying chimpanzee, a flying gorilla?
I'll just contact there's only been a handful. I'll just contact you directly and we can talk about what you want there. So.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Right.
Yeah. I guess I could set it up with like a drop-down menu. I hadn't thought about that. I might do that.
I've seen that on a lot of campaigns, but with an ensemble cast title, I can't help but wonder if there might be too many to put in a drop-down list. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible. I don't know what their limitations are.
Yeah. Let's see. So that was that one. Then we got Battlebrook Road plus a supplemental plus a sketch. I'm trying to be careful because if I accidentally click too many times, then I
Yeah,
fix
don't
myself.
click it twice. Yeah.
So we got Battlebrook Road. We got a supplemental book, the character sketch, and the fold-out poster.
Yeah. Those initial tiers are very stair-steppy. You know, you get the book or the book and the supplemental or the book and the supplemental sketch. You know, just sort of one step is one bigger and you get the extra thing. You kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, that kind of stuff makes it easier to understand. There are some campaigns out there, and I've backed quite a number of them, where it confuses the heck out of me and throws me off, and it takes like half an hour to 2 hours to understand what it is I want to back.
Yeah. Yeah. I was conscious of trying to make it as clear as possible of what you get. And even then I failed. So I hopefully can continue to learn better and better what you get or how to make these things more streamlined.
So did you still have some confusion from backers? Or
It's the high end tiers here, the 250 and the 500. I have Ashcan written there. And after I had decided, I was like, well, I don't just want to have an Ashcan go to like 10 people and not everybody else. So I moved that. That's going to be the Toto Ashcan. That's going to be everybody's going to get it. So there's going to be the thing I haven't announced will be if you've already backed at 250 or 500, you're just going to get it for free. So that's going to be one of those bonus items. And, you know, we might throw in like a special sticker or something that nobody else gets as well. So just want to try and treat those high rollers, treat them a little bit special for believing early so much that they're willing to drop a 250 or 500 on the project.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That makes sense. And then, so you got Battlebrook Road, the supplemental book, character sketch, fold-out poster. Now you get the exclusive T-shirt. I had a question about that. Is it just the name, the logo on the shirt, or do you have some some picture or some action scene from?
No, it's just that logo, and I stole the idea from John Malin. His Graveyard Shift Superfan tier has the Graveyard Shift logo, but it's gold instead of red. So since we have a gold logo already, I'm making the logo red instead of gold if you back it at that tier. That's the only way to get that shirt is from that tier. Wow. So that shows me and shows anybody else that's in the know that you're a super fan for Battlebrook Road because you have the red logo T-shirt.
Nice. So you got the Battlebrook Road original art. Whew. 25 available. Well, what now 24.
24, yeah. And those are going to be sold first come, first serve. So you will get to pick which page you want, and then that will be removed, and then the next person in the line will get to pick from the remaining, and so on and so on. So it's not a blind buy.
Right on. That's going to be nice. Are these 11 by 17?
Yes. Yeah, they're full-size comic pages, so they're 11 by 17.
Sweet. Included in the 25, are there any double page, doubles? What are they called?
Spreads? No.
Page spreads. All right.
No. In fact, there's only one double page spread in the book thus far. I haven't decided if I'm gonna expand.
Okay.
That's one of those things that Zeb leaves it up to me. I might do it towards the end of the book because there's a big towards the end of the first chapter. There's a big action scene that might work better as a spread than just two different scenes over different pages.
All right. Sweet. And the pièce de résistance, the Battlebrook Road Oz Citizen. So you get Battlebrook Road, supplemental book, the character sketch, the fold-out poster, the exclusive T-shirt, your name in the book. Are you basically going to have like one of those pages that has all the backer names on it or something?
It won't be every backer. It'll just be anybody that was a super fan or higher.
Gotcha.
All right. That'll be like a special thanks.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got there's the ash can again. The one.
Yeah. So when I do the update, these will go away and be refreshed with the correct info. Because you can remove a tier. I can't change the tier once it's been backed. Otherwise, I would have. I can't even change the artwork of the tier. So, yeah, when I get what I need back, there's going to be a sort of a campaign 2.0 without making it a separate campaign.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. And then you've got Citizen of Oz, which is membership into a very exclusive club. You get your likeness drawn into the book.
Yeah.
As one of the citizens.
Yeah. So that will be the bonus on that one is if you do back that tier, you're also going to get the original page that you were drawn into.
Oh, nice.
So it's a steal. That should be the featured tier because that I think that's the best bang for your buck with everything that comes with it. Considering you get a free page of artwork not free, but I mean it's included in it. So,
right.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Ooh-wee. That's one mountain of swag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool indeed. Let me see something here. Yeah. Sweet. Not only do you get the character sketch, but you get drawn in as a citizen of Oz.
Yeah.
And you get the original page of artwork.
And you're also going to get all the stretch goals too. So the trading cards and the bookmark and the patch, all that's going to be a part of it. So it's going to be a bounty. Yeah.
So if you're drawn in as a citizen of Oz and there's 10 available, does that mean, are there going to be many scenes in Oz, or is everyone going to be on the same page and everyone gets the same? Oh, wait, no, that wouldn't be possible, would it?
No, it wouldn't be possible. So every page would have to be a different citizen.
Oh, wow.
Whether it's a munchkin, we don't have munchkins that you're used to seeing in the Wizard of Oz movie. It's different. Whether it's that, or whether it's a member of the Resistance that is fighting against the Watcher of the East, or maybe it's one of her lackeys. There are different variations of that. So.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
That is so cool. Holy moly, that adds a whole new level of excitement. Let's watch the trailer once more.
Okay.
Thea Gale has grown up in a world brought to its knees by drought and monstrous dust storms. Now, a message from her long-lost father will set her on a path through an exotic land. Along with her trusty sidekick Toto, she must befriend a ragtag group of outcasts to endure the many challenges along the way. Battlebrick Road Operation Zephyr is a 52-page graphic novel and the first volume in a 4-part series. From artificial intelligence to genetic manipulation, Battlebrick Road brings an original and multi-layered story to the familiar backdrop of Oz. Back it today and help bring to life this apocalyptically fresh take on the classic American fairy tale. Only on Indiegogo.
Great.
So wicked. Oh, man.
Thank you.
I'm loving it. I wanted to thank our special guest, Eric Weathers, for joining us on the show. I want to thank everyone in chat for joining us today. Eric, would you take a moment and share with everyone how they can find you on social media?
Yeah, down here on my little title card here at Eric_Weathers is my Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Eric Weathers, where I do an inconsistent amount of streaming. But mostly I try to get at least one stream out a week. Sometimes it's like every day, sometimes it's not every day. But yeah, you can see me on there where I talk about just whatever is interesting me, and we hang out. I usually hang out with Von Klaus. And I'm just around. Yeah. Twitter and YouTube are where you can find me the most. Right
on. And I notice when you visit battlebrickroad.com, it redirects you to the Indiegogo page.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, whenever we do book 2, Battlebrick Road will take you to that new one as well.
Yeah. Sweet. So, that's pretty clever. Nice job with the branding there.
Thank you.
You can find me on Twitter at WyzGyz Tweets, on Twitch at WyzGyz Twitches, and on YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment. Thanks all for joining us. Y'all have a great day. I'll be streaming again very soon. And everybody have a fantastic day. We're ending the broadcast in